Hello everyone, this is the last lecture from the module 2. Today we are going to discuss the topic antiderivatives. Suppose we have a function small f. An antiderivative of this function small f is a function whose derivative is f. That is, a function capital F for which f dash is equal to small f is called the antiderivative of f. That is, a function capital F is said to be antiderivative of small f if f dash is equal to small f. For example, find a function whose derivative is 2x plus 3. We have a function whose derivative is 2x is nothing but x square. That is, we have d by dx of x square is equal to 2x. So a function whose derivative is 2x is nothing but x square. So we have antiderivative of 2x is x square. Therefore, antiderivative of 2x is x square. Now what about the antiderivative of 3? Also we have d by dx of 3x is equal to 3. That is, a function whose derivative is 3 is 3x. Therefore, antiderivative of 3 is 3x. Therefore, a function whose derivative is 2x plus 3 is x square plus 3x. Therefore, we have d by dx of, here we have d by dx of x square plus 3x is nothing but d by dx of x square is we have it is 2x plus d by dx of 3x is 3. So, we obtained a function x square plus 3x such that the derivative of that function is nothing but 2x plus 3. Therefore, antiderivative of 2x plus 3 is x square plus 3x, or the required function whose derivative is 2x plus 3 is x square plus 3x. Now, the antiderivative of a function is never unique. That is, if f capital F is an antiderivative of f, so f plus c for an arbitrary constant c. That means if capital F is an antiderivative of f, then f plus c is also an antiderivative of f for every arbitrary constant c. Because we know f is an antiderivative of f means we have f dash is equal to f. Now we have f plus c dash is nothing but where c is a constant. This is nothing but f dash plus c dash. This is equal to f dash is we have f plus c dash is 0 because c is a constant. So this is equal to f. So if f capital F is an antiderivative of f, then we have f dash is equal to f. So the derivative of f plus c is nothing but f itself. So we can say that f plus c is also an antiderivative of small f. That is, capital F is an antiderivative of f implies, that is, capital F is an antiderivative of f implies capital F plus c is also an antiderivative of f for any arbitrary constant c. So in the previous example, we obtained that x square plus 3x is the antiderivative of 2x plus 3. Now from this we can say that x square plus 3x plus some constant, for example it is 2. This is also an antiderivative of 2x plus 3 because we have the derivative of this is equal to 2x plus 3 plus 0, that is 2x plus 3. So if you are adding any constant to this, then also we will get this derivative is equal to this. So if capital F is an antiderivative of f, then f plus is also an antiderivative of the small f. Now we have an example. The velocity of a particle moving along a line is 3t plus 5 at a time t. Velocity of a moving particle along a line is 3t plus 5 at time t. Now at time 1, the particle is at the position 4. Where is it at the time 10? So here we are given that the velocity of a moving particle that is 3t plus 5 at a given time t. Also we are given that at time t equal to 1, the position of the particle is at 4. Now we have to find the position at time t. To solve this problem, we can use the antiderivative. Let f of t, capital F of t, denote the position of the particle at time t. Let capital F of t denote the particle position of the particle at the time t. So we have to find the function capital F, that is the function of the position of the particle. So we are given that the velocity of the particle is 3t plus 5. That means we have f dash of t is equal to 3t plus 5. Velocity is actually the derivative of the position or the distance function. So velocity is nothing but f dash of t equal to 3t plus 5. That means capital F is an antiderivative of this function 3t plus 5. That is, capital F is an antiderivative of the function f of t equal to 3t plus 5. So to find the function f, we need to find the antiderivative of this function 3t plus 5. So we have the antiderivative of 3t is equal to 3 by 2 t square, because the derivative of this function is equal to 3t, that is d by dt of 3 by t whole square is 3 by t square is equal to 3 by t into 2t, that is 3t. So a function whose derivative is 3t is 3 by 2 t square. Now what about the function whose derivative is 5? So similarly, a function whose derivative is 5 is nothing but 5t, because d by dt of 5t is equal to 5. Okay, since this. So we have f of t is equal to the antiderivative of these two functions, that is antiderivative of 3t is 3 by 2 t square, and antiderivative of 5 is 5t plus a constant, where c is a constant to be determined. Now we have to find the constant c. So for that we can use this. We are given that the particle is at the position 4 when time t equal to 1. So we have the position function of the particle is this. Okay. Now at time t equal to 1, we have the position is 4. That is, t equal to 1 implies capital F is equal to 4. So we can replace this value here. So f of 1 is equal to 4, that is we are given from this. So we have 4 is equal to, this is 4, so 4 is equal to 3 by 2 into 1 square plus 5 into 1 plus c. So from this we have 13 by 2 plus c. So from this we get c equal to minus 5 by 2. So replacing value of c here, we get f of t equal to 3 by 2 t square plus 5t minus 5 by 2. That is the position function. Now we have to find the function, the value of the function or the position at the time t equal to 10. So we have to replace the time t equal to 10 here. So at time t equal to 10, we have f of 10 or f of t equal to this, that is 3 by 2 into 10 square is 100 plus 5 into 10 minus 5 by 2. This is 197 plus 1 by 2. This is 197 and a half. Now, anti-differentiation and indefinite integrals. An antiderivative of a function f is a function f such that f dash of x is equal to f of x. Here we can write capital F of x is equal to this symbol, that is integral of f of x, that is a definite integral. This function integral f of x dx is also called indefinite integral of f. This is called indefinite integral of f, and the small f is called the integrand. So if a capital F is the antiderivative of small f, then capital F can be written as the integral of f of x dx. So here we have capital F is the antiderivative, and it is also called the indefinite integral. So this function small f is called the integrand. If f of x is an antiderivative of f of x, then the general antiderivative has the form f of x plus c for any arbitrary constant c. See what we already discussed that. Now we have some anti-differentiation rules. First rule is sum rule, that is integral f of x plus g of x dx is equal to integral f of x dx plus integral g of x dx. Now we have the constant multiple rule, integral a into f of x dx is equal to a into integral of f of x dx, where a is a constant. Now the power rule is integral x to the power n dx is nothing but x power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus c, where n is not equal to minus 1. Next one is integral of a polynomial or polynomial. Polynomial rule is actually integral This is an nth degree polynomial Cn x power n plus Cn minus 1 x power n minus 1 plus etc. C2 x square plus C1 x plus C0 dx is equal to Cn x power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus, this is actually by using this power rule, okay, plus etc. plus C1 x square by 2 plus C0 x plus C. Here we are used the C, which is the integrating constants. Now next one is integral ax plus b power n dx is nothing but ax plus b power n plus 1 divided by a into n plus 1. Okay, for integral ax plus b power n dx is equal to ax plus b power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 into this. Here we have a, that is a here. So if we need to prove this, we can just use the differentiation for of the functions in the right hand side. For example, if we have to prove this, you just differentiate this. If you are differentiating this right hand side, we have d by dx of x power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus c is equal to, we know the derivative of this is nothing but n plus 1 into x power n plus 1 minus 1, that is x power n divided by n plus 1 is here, plus derivative of c is 0. So we can divide this. So we have, this is x power n. So we have d by dx of this is equal to x power n, therefore integral of x power n is equal to this function. Okay, so in such a way we can prove all these rules. Now we can discuss an example. Find the integral of 1 by x square plus 3x plus 2 minus 8 by square root of x dx. So we have to find the integral of this function. We have the integral of this function is equal to 1 by x square plus 3x plus 2 minus 8 by root x dx. So this is equal to, by some rule we can split this integral. So we can write this as integral 1 by x square is nothing but x power minus 2 dx plus integral 3x dx. So we can use the constant multiple rule here. So 3 into integral x dx plus 2 into integral dx and minus 8 into integral 1 by square root of x, that is 1 by x power 1 by 2, that is x power minus 1 by 2 dx. So here we used the sum rule and constant multiple rules. So this is equal to x power minus 2 dx is nothing but we have the power rule, that is x power n dx. Integral x power n dx is equal to x power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 plus constant of integration. So here we can write this is x power minus 2 plus 1 divided by minus 2 plus 1 plus 3 into x power 1 dx, that is x power 2 divided by 2 plus 2 into integral of 1 into dx or x power 0 dx. So we have x itself minus 8 into integral of x power minus 1 by 2 dx, that is x power minus 1 by 2 plus 1 divided by minus 1 by 2 plus 1 plus constant of integration. For all these integrals we are using this constant of integration. So this is equal to x power minus 1 divided by minus 1 plus 3 by 2 x square plus 2x minus 8 into x power minus 1 by 2 plus 1, that is x power 1 by 2 divided by 1 by 2 plus constant of integration. So this is equal to minus x power minus 1 or minus 1 by x plus 3 by 2 x square plus 2x minus 16 into x power 1 by 2, that is root x plus constant of integration. So this is the required integral. Next question is find integral 1 by 3x plus 1 to the power 5 dx. So we have integral 1 by 3x plus 1 power 5 dx is equal to integral 3x plus 1 to the power minus 5 dx. We already have integral ax plus b dx is equal to, or power n dx is equal to ax plus b power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 into this, that is a plus constant of integration. So applying that, here we have n is equal to minus 5 and a equal to 3. So we have 3x plus 1 power minus 5 plus 1 divided by minus 5 plus 1 into this 3 plus constant of integration. So this is equal to 3x plus 1 power minus 4 divided by minus 4 into 3 is minus 12 plus constant of integration. Next one, find integral x cube minus 8 divided by x minus 2 dx. To integrate this function, we can just simplify this. That is integral of x cube minus 8 divided by x minus 2 dx is equal to integral. This is actually x cube minus 2 cube. So we can express this x cube minus 2 cube as x minus 2 into x square plus 2x plus 4 divided by x minus 2 dx. So we can divide this x minus 2. So we have this is integral x square dx plus integral 2x dx plus integral for 4 integral 4 dx. So this is equal to integrating this, we have x cube by 3 plus 2 into x square by 2 plus 4 into x plus constant of integration. Next example, let x equal to position, v equal to velocity, a equal to acceleration and t equal to time. Express the relations between these variables by using the indefinite integral notation. We have the relation connecting these variables. We have the velocity v is the rate of change of distance, that is dx by dt. Also we have the acceleration a is equal to the rate of change of the velocity, that is dv by dt. So from this we have using the integral notation we can write x is equal to integral of v dt, and from this we have the velocity v is equal to integral of the acceleration a dt. So this is the required relations between these variables using indefinite integral notation. Now we have next example. Water is flowing into a tub at 3t plus 1 by t plus 1 whole square gallons per minute after t minutes. How much water is in the tub after 2 minutes if it is started out empty? That is, we have to find the amount of the water in the tub after 2 minutes. That is, we need to find. Here we are given that the water is flowing into the tub at a rate of 3t plus 1 by t plus 1 whole square gallons per minute. Also we are given that it is empty at the or starting time. So here let f of t be the amount of water in gallons in the tub at time t. If you are supposing f of t as the amount of the water in the tub, we are given that water is flowing into the tub at a rate of this amount gallons per minute, that is 3t plus 1 by t plus 1 whole square gallons per minute after t minutes. That is, we are given that the derivative f dash of t is equal to 3t plus 1 by t plus 1 whole square. That is the rate of change of the water with respect to time. So we have to find the value of f of t at the point or after 2 means, that is at the point t equal to, that is we have to find f of 2. So here we are given that f dash of t equal to this. So integrating we get f of t equal to integral of 3t plus 1 by t plus 1 whole square dt. This is equal to, by using the rules of the anti-differentiation, we have 3 into integral t dt plus integral 1 by t plus 1 whole square is nothing but t plus 1 to the power minus 2 dt. This is equal to integrating, we have the integral of t is t square by 2. Integral of this is t plus 1 power minus 2 plus 1 divided by minus 2 plus 1, because we have integral of ax plus b power n dx is equal to ax plus b power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 into this a. That is, so here a is equal to 1 here, and n is equal to minus 2. So we have t plus 1 power minus 2 plus 1 divided by minus 2 plus 1 into 1 plus constant of integration c. Now we have to find the value of c our ultimate aim is to find f of 2. So to find value of t, we have the given condition. That is, the given condition is it is started out empty. That is, started out empty. That is, when time t equals 0, the amount of the water in the tub is 0. That is, at t equals 0, we have f of t equal to 0, where f of t is the amount of the water at the time t. Okay, when t equals 0, we have f of t equals 0. That is what is we are given. That is, f of 0 equal to 0. So replacing t equals 0 and f of t equals 0 in this equation number 1, we have 0 equal to f of t equals 0 here. So 0 equal to 3 by 2 into t square. That is, t square is 0 square plus 0 plus 1 power minus 1 divided by minus 1 plus c. So from this we get c equal to 1. So replacing the value of c in this equation number 1, we get the amount of water in the tub at after time t. So f of t equal to 3 by 2 t square minus 1 by t plus 1 plus c. C is equal to 1 here. So replacing this value, we get this. So this is the quantity of water or amount of water in the tub after t seconds. So we have to find the quantity of water at after 2 seconds. So at t after 2 t equal to 2, we have f of t is f of 2 equal to 3 by 2 into 2 square minus 1 by 2 plus 1 plus 1. So on simplification, we get this as 20 by 3, or this is equal to 6 plus 2 by 3, or 6 2 by 3 gallon after 2 minutes.